Welcome.
Hey.
Now we've got Leslie Vincent and Emily Dussault. I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do so people can get used to your voice. Emily, tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I'm Emily. I am an actor and singer, and I grew up mostly in Minnesota. And
Good answer.
yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
All right, Leslie.
Well, I'm Leslie, and I'm originally from Maryland, but I've been in Minnesota for 11 years, and together we're the Champagne Drops.
Yeah.
How did you guys get together? I have so many. Let's start with the basics. We have talked before. We have talked through Zoom. Leslie, I don't know if you've been in studio, but we've talked a bunch of times, and I run into you all the time. But for folks who don't run into you guys all the time, how did you guys get together?
We did a play together. So we both do theater, and we were cast in a play together in 2016. The spring of 2016. It was an all-women show that was set in the 60s at a lesbian bar, and we got to be pretty good friends while we were in that show. And then, a little over a year later, we did a cabaret, just the two of us, kind of each doing some songs and duets, and that was kind of it. We just decided we wanted to keep doing it.
Yeah, that's basically it. Then we started doing holiday shows that we could make a good chunk of change by singing holiday shows together. And then, before we knew it, we started getting songwriting commissions. And we started to songwrite for other people and then for ourselves. And by 2020, we had enough to make a full-length album of originals.
Awesome.
We've been writing ever since.
Yeah.
Well, and tell me a little bit about the commissions, because not being a musician, I'm if I wanted you to write a song about my dad, whose birthday it is, happy birthday, Dad.
Absolutely, yes.
We truly do that
written
all the
songs about
time.
people's dads. So it kind of started, I think, because of our theater connection. We would have theater companies ask if we could compose an original
now
song
that, of course,
for a
yes.
show. And so we did that a few times. And then during the pandemic, we were bored and wanted to be creative. And so we just kind of opened it up.
Yep.
And we got several commissions that it was really funny and fun to write those, these really specific to people's situation songs.
Yep.
Are there any interesting ones you could share?
Oh, yeah. We were just talking about this yesterday because I said to Em, we should catalog all of our songs because there's actually a lot that aren't on our album that we should put into our rotation. So my favorite was for a couple friend of mine who was feeling sad during the pandemic. And we wrote a song that was something like It'll Get Better.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of imagery of the things we were going to do post-pandemic.
Oh, nice.
So eating ice cream, right? Because it was hard to eat.
Were we not supposed to eat ice cream during?
Well, it's you couldn't go to the ice cream shop.
True, that is very true. That is true. Yeah.
So we basically, I think it was a birthday present for her, if I'm remembering correctly. So it was all the things that she was going to want to do. And then you talk about the.
A friend of mine that someone I met in college reached out because her dad had passed away and kind of told us this really lovely love story about her parents, and he was kind of a cowboy, and it ended up being this kind of old school ballad, and we actually called it the ballad of, I can't remember
they had
the
two
two
fun
first names.
nicknames.
I think his name was maybe Buck.
And he was
Sue, I don't know, something.
Yeah.
It was so cute, and that's one of the ones that I miss a lot.
Yeah.
We should bring it back.
We should bring it back.
I just love that idea, but the people that I know would be like, I love you, go back to the office. I love you, you must go to kindergarten. Because we all have those moments where we're like,
Oh, yeah.
I love you, go in the other room.
Please give me some space. Yeah.
You must do something else.
We could write a song about that, too.
Oh, yeah.
We all could. I mean, I think we all could. And you guys did a Fringe Festival show together.
Well, this was during COVID. Again, we were bored. And the Fringe Festival was going to do a little kind of mini online Fringe Festival. And I can't remember if they reached out to us or if we were just let's put our hats in the ring. And so we did kind of a little, we were each at our own houses. We did some pre-recorded stuff, but we did a little show about middle school.
Yeah. It was really cute.
It was pretty cute. And a couple of our songs on the album came out of that show.
And then we just wrote a song for our friend who put on a one-woman show. and we wrote a song to close out her show about her relationship with her dad who passed from MS. I'm realizing we're writing a lot of parent content.
Yeah, we can.
I don't know that I've ever tracked that before. But we have a lot of songs about mothers and daughters and daughters and dads. So anyways, that just closed last weekend, but it was really cool. It was the first time in a long time we saw our work sung by someone else, which is really cool as a songwriter to hear your song in someone else's voice. And we wrote it for her, but really cool to see that come to life.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, and there must be a different strategy. I mean, that person clearly would have a different voice than yours, and that must super interesting.
It was fun, and because she's one of our dearest friends, so we knew her voice really well. But yeah, we wrote it actually in a different key. So we wrote it in a key for us, and then when everything was done, we said, "All right, let's take it up." I think we took it up a whole step.
And then when we like made the recording, and I was singing it, and I was like, just in my head, like, okay, I know she's gonna do this better than me, so I'm not gonna get in my head about it. And it's true, it was like so perfect in her voice.
Yeah.
That would be hard. You know, I often will ask people, is it harder to sing your own songs or songs for someone else? But I can imagine she must have felt some pressure there too. But yes, to have that pressure of how can I best match her voice?
Yeah.
You know.
It was fun. So if you need a commission, hit us up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. I'm stopped because do you guys want to play some live music?
We do. I'd love a tune in between so I could tune up.
That was my next question. All right, and I know we've got. Do you want me to play the next on the Rhoda, or you want me to pick something of yours?
Either one.
Yeah, whatever you're feeling.
Just don't pick Rich Pie if you pick one of ours. 'Cause we're about to do it.
All right, I'm just looking to see what I can. Yeah. And Emily, maybe you could tell us, while I'm looking this up, tell us a little bit about the upcoming show.
Yes, tomorrow night, February 9th, at Crooners, we are doing a Galentine's Party show. We are so excited about it. Our rehearsals have just been incredibly exciting. We have an all-female band. The show's at 6 p.m., doors open at 5 p.m. So, yes, there is a little football game happening tomorrow, but we are not upset about missing it, and I bet that there are other people who would like to do something fun unrelated to football. So this is your chance. The set is so fun. We're going to do some of our originals with the band. We have a couple special guests that are very exciting, and some really fun covers. I'm just so excited.
I think it is amazing to have an alternative to that, because my family has to remind me, there's a football game going on.
Oh, that's always going on. I just know that the Eagles from Philadelphia are playing.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs, Taylor Swift's team.
Yep.
That's as far as
Taylor Swift's team.
That's kind of what I know right there. And apparently it will be one, if whatever team wins that won last year, it'll be their third time.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you see how up on it I am.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar's playing. I know that.
Yeah. Yes, looking forward to watching that the next day.
That's good. That's good.
But no offense, I have come from a family of sports fanatics, so we could just go into the song if you want, Anne.
Sure.
This is a song called Rich Pie that we wrote a couple years ago. We found a poem on the internet that was written by an 8-year-old, and we thought, you know what the world needs is for us to set this to music. And so we set it to music. We've been playing it for a while, and a couple years ago, the dad of this then 8-year-old reached out to us because it had been an anonymous poem that went viral. He said, "That's my daughter's work," and so we were finally able to credit the proper author. And I think she went on to write more poems and music.
I think, she's much older now, but
What a thrill for the parents and the girl. And I mean, imagine starting your
we're happy
resume
about
when you're
it.
8.
Yeah. It's called Rich Pie. I am not sugar and spice and everything nice. I am not sugar and spice and everything nice. I am music. I am art. I am a story.
child, I will be mother. I am not sugar and spice and everything nice. I am not sugar and spice and everything nice. I am a rich pie, strong with knowledge. I will not be eaten.
Oh, I love that. If you had asked me which song I wanted you guys to play, that would have been. It's like, I love the backstory of it. I mean, I just think it's
so pure, like we can try to write from that perspective, but to have it from really the perspective of a kid, I think is and as we've grown and become parents or had stuff with our own parents, like you just get it just hits differently.
Yep, for sure.
Well, and I think it's so important to memorialize or to capture that era of when girls are super strong and they think like that, because something happens very often at a certain point in middle school, which is why I think, at least in the experience of my 3 daughters, I can't remember for myself as much, but something happens in middle school where you're you're done being strong all the time, and I think to see glimpses of it's always fun to see somebody else's 3-year-old throw a tantrum. But you're like, she's right. She ought to be able to wear that tutu.
Yeah.
It's not that cold
Let her
out.
feel her feelings big before the world tells her that she can't.
Yeah.
Right. That's it exactly.
Yeah.
Where else do you get inspiration? I mean, you get people who ask you commissions and poetry and
just
for
our own
shows.
lives. I mean, a lot of the songs that we've written have been just things that we're going through, and how can we put them down on paper, or images that we have. We ended up writing a lot about being women, being daughters, being friends, growing, kind of even just growing up, even as adults. What does it mean to kind of keep understanding ourselves?
Yeah, and I feel like we now have such a big collection of music from the last few years, and we love it. But I also kind of feel like we've both grown so much, and I feel like we're maybe kind of on the cusp of writing some stuff with like a different feeling, and that explores things we haven't yet. So I'm excited about whatever that looks like too.
Me too.
Yeah. I imagine that the songs hit differently. A song I wrote 5 years ago probably hits differently now than it did at the time. And it would be interesting then to see it's kind of the next iteration of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, and when we started, we weren't really connected very much to the music scene. We were very much immersed in the theater community. And now, I don't know, we've just done a lot more with our music, and it means that we have a lot, even just more ideas, more language, more vocabulary. We have a whole system of writing that I don't know if it's unique to us, but we do have a really cool system. And so, as opposed to kind of starting from the basics, we're starting from a pretty strong foundation, a strong foundation of trust and workmanship, craftsmanship, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, I think that experience of doing the theater makes your shows amazing.
Thank you.
There are a couple, Megan Kreidler, she's another one who came from theater and to watch, there's a stage presence that people who sing don't necessarily have it. I mean, that, the way some CEOs are great at writing grants and some are good at managing people, and some, not everything comes in the same package, but what a gift to have had that.
Yes, I feel very, very, very lucky.
It is super helpful. Although I will say, I am so grateful that I'm always up there with Leslie, because it is a different experience to go on. Like, I've gone on stage and been so many characters, and it for some reason is so easy for me to be vulnerable and do crazy stuff when I'm playing a character, but just myself, like when I'm on stage singing by myself, it's a lot scarier. But when Leslie's there, I feel like we are just sort of, our relationship is so much a part of the show.
Yeah.
So it's easier to just kind of slip into and be vulnerable together, because we're like, we have each other's backs, and
And we always end up making each other laugh, or like, like we do a Christmas show, and this year we got these lyrics right that have been hard for us, and then in the song, you know, we're looking at each other like, I can't believe we got it right, and the audience is like, why are you doing that during, like, you know, this Christmas tune? You're like celebrating, and then I was like, well, we had to, because we had our own private celebration, and I think that's what makes us different from other bands, is that we are a little theatrical, even when we don't intend to be. Yeah.
What, if you don't mind me asking, what is the difference in the vibe between sort of the theater scene and the music scene, and how does one cross over? I'm not looking for the gossip necessarily, although I'll take it. Don't get me wrong.
Maybe
but, you know,
just
right. But just, you know, how do you vibe with one and the other?
So many thoughts. One, there's obviously different people and different vibes there. Two, for me, there's so many opportunities just to hang with musicians. So like theater, like in theater, you can be in a show, you can go to an audition, and then you can see shows and kind of hang afterwards. But you kind of have to make friends kind of one show at a time. Music, you can go to jams. You know, I do the Dolly show, and those connections lead to more connections. And what I found is the more I do it, the more pockets of genres I find that I'm like, wow, I didn't know that the folk scene was so deep, or, you know, the pop scene was so deep, because I'm over here in my jazz hole, and I'm really interested in, like, I just want to know everybody. I want to know as many people as possible in every world. And then I love to say, like I just messaged Nikki Lemire, who I'm obsessed with, and I said, Nikki, I have a song that I think that I wrote that I'm not going to do anything with. I think you should have it. I think if you want it, you should write it on the harp. And she was like, she just messaged me back, like, that's cool, you know. And so I'm obviously very passionate about, I just want to know everyone. And I find it kind of easier to meet musicians just because there's more opportunities, and I want I think that I try not to speak for the theater community because I don't feel I'm as in it as I was, but I want there to be more opportunities for us to, like, be together and have community. I feel like the pandemic really took a toll on theater, and, like, theaters in general are still recovering, and so, like, if I could have a dream, I would do, like, speed dating with the theater community, and everyone comes and sits at a big table, and we all just re-meet each other, because whole scenes of people have graduated and come in, and we don't, the older generation, like, we don't know each other anymore, and so, and you want to, you know, you want to go to shows and auditions and be like, hey, buddy, you know, I'm glad to see you up there doing your thing.
Yeah, it's really changed. There's a lot less, and I feel a lot of people have felt that impact of the community, just, like, having less opportunity to connect than we used to. So, yeah.
I believe a call to the hook and ladder. You could arrange something like that. I mean, I think it's a really good idea.
Thank you.
And
you're doing your open gym, which I feel like has brought a lot of good music and theater people.
Yeah, so I started this program called Cabaret Open Gym coming out of this passion, where basically I saw a lot of jams for every genre of music and nothing for performing artists. So, like, if they wanted to try something or put up original work or even do a monologue. So I have a quarterly series called Cabaret Open Gym, and that's its intention, is to get up there and do something, but also to hang. And I've done 3 iterations of it, and they've been really successful, I think. And I'm very curious. Okay, like, I'm very curious about, like, what both communities have that I can cross-pollinate.
Yes.
Like, I have another dream that's called, it's like a cast party for the music community. That's like, if you released music this year, you get to come to our cast party, and, like, we celebrate, and we, like, you know, we toast each other, and, like, because when you do a show, like, at the end of it, you all celebrate together. And you know, music, we do so many shows that you couldn't possibly do all that. So anyways, that's a dream for, like, 5 years from now.
Such a cute idea.
Someone give me a grant to do all this.
I think that would be fantastic. I mean, I think that, especially there's so many people who are still not able to do a show when their music comes out, and all of that. And I think that it's important to celebrate and maybe to be able to bask in it without having to do it all that night.
Totally. Yes, absolutely.
It'd be like having getting married again, except you don't have to do any of the work or say hi to everybody.
Yeah,
totally.
Do you want to do this little number?
Yeah.
All right, we've got the champagne drops, and they're doing me a solid here by playing another song. I'm so excited. So yes, please tell us more.
This song is called Lily of the Valley, another pandemic commission. one of our dearest friends wanted to write a song for her mom's birthday, and she gave us a bunch of words and thoughts and phrases and almost poetry, and so we wrote this using a lot of her words, and we are going to be doing this tomorrow night at Crooners with a full band.
Her eyes are the sky, her hair the gray sea. She sings o'er the bone, she teaches how to run free.
Whether you're water or bird, fish or smooth stone, she sings each woman must find her true center alone. She leads us all through the wilderness. Hold on tight. Never know what we'll find, but she'll say to you, what a lovely sight. She feels the push and the pull, looks forward and back. She's the pair of blue hands in the photograph. And as the storm gathers around, the wind whips through the trees. She says, rooting to the ground is the only way to be free. Be free, baby. She leads us all through the wilderness. Hold on tight. We never know what we'll find, but she'll say to you, what a lovely sight. Oh, Cynthia, how did you know how to grow this one? Oh, Cynthia, how did you know how to grow this one? Red thread, heartstring, lily of the valley that make the lupine sing. Red thread, heartstring, lily of the valley that make the lupine sing. Red thread, heartstring, lily of the valley that make the lupine sing. Oh, thank you.
Lily of the Valley.
Lily of the Valley, that is lovely. And I'm going to tell folks you've just heard the Champagne Drops on Mostly Minnesota Music on WMCN 91.7 FM in St. Paul. That is a lovely song. My eldest daughter is named Lily, and she's really named after Pictures of Lily, the song by The Who. I might have to tell her she's named after that one.
Oh my god.
She's 26. She knows what song she's been named after, which is not as sweet as that song. Yes. And I know that one of you has to go, and Leslie, you can stay or go. It's up to you. But I want to make sure that I am.
Thank you.
Yes. But let's recap what's going on tomorrow night at Crooners.
Yeah, so our show's tomorrow, Sunday at 6 o'clock at Crooners. We're on the main stage. We have a full band. Martha East and Sarah Morris are joining us as special guest artists.
Nice.
And we're going to be doing a Galentine's party. So iconic women, songs about female friendship, everything from Lucius to First Aid Kit, Carole King, Chappell Roan, Beyonce, Lady Gaga.
Lots of genres.
We like to do all the female hits. So it's going to be a party for sure. If you're coming, wear some red and pink, and we're just going to throw down a good time.
I imagine there've got to be some costume changes happening.
You know what? I don't think we're going to leave stage, so I don't think we're going to have time for a costume change.
I do love where your head's at, and I feel like one day we will work in some elaborate costume changes, but we're just going to be out there the whole time pretty much. So.
Well, and Crooners is a lovely place. They have delicious food.
Yes.
It's a nice setting. It's very cozy.
Yep.
And it's not too far. Yeah, I mean, especially for folks who live in that area.
Parking's right there.
Well, that's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
So parking is exactly right there.
Get the salmon. It's always my recommendation.
They have those pork rib sliders or something.
Oh, the sliders are
those are deadly.
That's what I eat before every show, not gonna lie.
Oh, I'm so excited to eat dinner before the show now.
I get salmon if I'm just seeing a show, and I get sliders if I'm performing a show. That's my secret of Crooners.
That is funny. And why the difference? Just
because the salmon's really heavy.
Oh,
so I can't do a show after I eat
that's
the whole salmon and the mashed potatoes. But the sliders are little, so I can.
They're.
I'm usually save one for after the show.
Now that I understand.
Yeah,
that I understand. Yeah. I said, Leslie, you're welcome to stay or go. That is totally your.
I think I'm gonna go.
No, I understand that. I understand it. Well, thank you both so much for being here. I mean, it's it is so much fun to hear all of your stories, and thank you for doing a song song in the show that lift up a lot of women, and I think it'll be a great alternative to that sports ball happening tomorrow.
Exactly. If you don't want FOMO, but you don't want to watch football, come hang out.
Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm just gonna head right back to the music. We've got "Summertime Time" by Dosh.
Just so you know, there was just a spider crawling up this thing. I don't know where it went, guys, but it looked